this week, I guess it was announced this morning via PW Insider that Rusev, formerly known as Miro, Miro's his real name, Miroslav. Rusev was with the company for a long time, and then he got shit canned during the pandemic, and he went over to AEW for like 5 years. He didn't really accomplish a whole lot. He did. There were times where his run was pretty good. When he initially came in, it stunk. They put him in with Kip Sabian, and he was like the angry, beefy, like video game nerd. They got mad if you shit on his games. You know, that stuff. It didn't work. He went away for a little bit. He came back, and he was Miro the Redeemer. And his initial push as Miro the Redeemer was awesome. I thought we really had something, and then he went away again. And then he ends up signing a new contract. He comes back, and Miro the Redeemer's back, and he was doing great. And he ended up having a match, I believe, at All In Wembley, the first Wembley show. And he would kind of be in and out, and then he's just been gone for I mean, it feels like it's almost been 2 years. I don't have the notes in front of me because, as you guys know, I'm just like in my car. I'm out like in between errands, but it just seemed like he had he has been gone for like 2 years. They brought in CJ Perry, his wife Lana, and they did a whole breakup thing. They worked an angle on TMZ where they actually were getting a divorce, but it looks like they never got divorced, and they're back together, and it's like a whole thing. He asked for his release at some point last year, and it was granted earlier this year. And now Rusev is on his way back to WWE. I don't have any high hopes for his, coming back to WWE. He's going to be just another guy on the show, but that's what he wants. He wants to be in WWE. He never wanted to go to AEW. He only went there because that was the other game in town. He doesn't love pro wrestling. He just loves like the money and being a star. And look, I get it. If he loved pro wrestling, he would have been out there doing the indies, which what a lot of the other guys who end up actually being really successful do. If he loved pro wrestling, he'd be doing what Matt Cardona was doing and what Dolph Ziggler's doing and what Drew McIntyre did and what Cody did. But that's not Miro. He just wants to go to work. He wants to do his job, and he doesn't want to lose matches unless it's on WWE television. And that's what he's going to do. He's going to come in and he's going to lose a lot of matches. He might get a push here and there, but I just don't see where he fits in there. Like, he's a 40-year-old guy, kind of a bit of a malcontent, at least as far as his run in AEW went. And I just don't see anything out of him. And I think this, this move by Tony Khan, and I know we've talked about it a couple of times, but really signifies a shift in their thinking with who they're going to sign and the types of talent that they want to bring in. They want talent that want to be a part of their company and that are buying into what they're doing over there. That wasn't Rusev, okay? That was not Malachi Black. That was not Andrade, okay? It wasn't those guys. Those three specifically were not bought into what the company wanted to do. They were just there because they got fired and needed another place to work. They weren't there because they really wanted to be there. And it looks like they're shifting their company policy to signing people that actually would love to come to work and would love to be there. And we saw it earlier this year. We just, like Kevin Knight, earlier, like last week, signed. Like, that's the guy. He's a young up-and-coming talent. Mike Bailey, been around a long time, but he's going to love being there. Not a major star. He's a bit of a cornball, but he's really good in the ring. And he's going to love being, and he's one of the best wrestlers, like, in bell to bell in the world. Josh Alexander, another guy, kind of getting up there in age, but he is a guy that's going to give you everything he's got. And he's not going to bitch about finishes and stuff like that. Tony Khan focused way too much for a while on all these guys with Fed cred. They signed the first initial wave, like they brought in Jericho and Moxley and Cody and then when other people got released during the pandemic, he was bringing in so many. He brought in so many, and a lot of them, like Swerve, worked. Adam Cole, I don't know about, man. At some point they might have to cut bait with Adam Cole, and I know that's mean to say because people really like Adam Cole, but I just don't know that guy's got it. But he looked like he was going to be a good signing for a while, but the last couple of years he's really not been. He's been hurt a lot, and then what he is doing is not really all that interesting. But then he brought in Edge, and so it got to be where like they're just signing everybody from WWE, and it looks like they're just starting to turn that around. They're trying to change the perception of the company. And they're getting rid of the malcontents one by one by one by one, and then all those people are going right back to WWE. And that's why I posted the joke earlier, because Vince, say what you want about the guy, total scumbag, piece of shit, but he saw this coming. I fully believe that a big part of those releases during the pandemic in 2020 and 2021 was because he knew that Tony Khan would not be able to keep his hand out of the cookie jar. He knew that he's going to flood the market with talent, and that Tony Khan would not be able to avoid bringing all of them in, because it's not like does he want those guys, but he's got all those people had friends in the company vouching for him, like big stars. And so they're like, okay, well, I don't want to disappoint the big stars. I don't want to disappoint their friends. So I'll bring them in. I got the money. And then they signed way too many people. The company got way too big for the infrastructure. And then next thing you know, like 2023 and 2024 were bad years for AEW. They were. Like, a lot of the pay-per-views are still good, but like business was going down. They seem like they're riding the ship. Like, things are on an upward trajectory. They're not still where they were, right? And they're probably not going to be to where they were for a while. But if they keep on the same course that they're at right now, they could get there. And a big part of that is cutting bait with a lot of the shitty talent. Okay. Not that they're not good in the ring, but they're just shitty overall. Okay. Let's get to BJ Bethel's story. BJ Bethel, friend of the show, friend of mine, like we're like personal friends now, had a story out on SE Scoops. He got the numbers from Max regarding AEW Dynamite and Collision, and part of the story was that AEW on Max, the viewership is about 80% of whatever they do on TBS and TNT that week, which would then for a regular Dynamite it'd be averaging around 500,000. Which would put that week's Dynamite anywhere between 1 to 1.2 million viewers a week, and that's where they use viewers. I got to be honest, it sounds way too high for me, but I don't have any evidence to back up my theory other than just gut and instinct, right? I watch Dynamite on Max. I'm one of those guys. I did have it on DVR, but it's easier than DVR from YouTube TV. Okay. But I do DVR it, but I typically just watch it on Max now. The problem with watching it on Max is it's actually difficult to find. And sometimes it's not up right away. So like to watch the replay, because it comes on at 2:00 in the afternoon here. So I don't really watch till like my wife and kids are like in bed. Like my wife, like the baby, I'll watch it with the baby while I'm feeding him, like right around like 7:30, 8:00, and that's right around the time that my